Hello everyone, welcome to Avlokan IAS. My name is Shivani and I welcome you all in this series of Medieval Indian History Crash Course. So as you all are aware that we have covered two important topics, and the first one was invasions in India, and that means the Muslim invasions in India, and we have covered it in two parts, which is the first one is the Arab invasions and the second one is Turkish invasion. So we have seen that. After that, we have covered the foundation of Delhi Sultanate, and in that chapter, we have covered how the slave dynasty came into existence. Why was the Delhi Sultanate is called Delhi Sultanate, right? I have told you the whole meaning of the word, and after that, we have covered all the rulers which ruled in the Sultanate in the slave dynasty. So we have covered all this so far, and now we are going to start a new dynasty, which is Khilji dynasty. Okay, so you are seeing here the name Delhi Sultanate, and we are talking about Khilji era, right? Although the Khilji era is a very short span, but still it was very influential span because some very important changes happened in this era, and the ruler that were the Jalaluddin Khilji and Alauddin Khilji, they made some important changes in Indian history, like which were there for longer period. So we need to see them, and today we are going to cover the Khilji era. So let's start with the lecture. Okay, so first thing first, let's see the who were the rulers, right? First thing you need to see, although you don't need to remember all these names in this exact chronology, because the important ones are there only in news, and they are even asked in exams. So you don't need to remember all the names. It is not a burden to you. Just know the names of the important rulers, right? The first one is Jalaluddin, Alauddin, एंड देन द लास्ट वन दैट इज खुसरो खान. ठीक है, तो ये आपको पता होने चाहिए. दीज रूलर्स आर इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर यू टू नो. ऑलवेज रिमेंबर द फाउंडर एंड द लास्ट रूलर. That is the law of history, you know. You have to remember the founder of the dynasty and the last ruler of the dynasty, and in between you have to remember the names who made some important changes. And you know, in Khilji dynasty, Alauddin was the most influential ruler, right? He ruled only for 20 years, but in those 20 years he made some very crucial changes in economy, in military, right? So we need to see them, how the empire flourished, how the expansion happened, how he controlled the Mongol attacks. So all these are very important points and we need to cover them. Okay. So let's start with the lecture. Right. You will remember these names: Jalaluddin Khilji, Alauddin Khilji, and then for your convenience, I'll just name them once. Shihabuddin Umar, 1316. See you, he ruled only for 1 year or maybe for some months only. Then Kutubuddin Mubarak Shah, he ruled for 3 4 years. And also, yes, I remember one thing about Kutubuddin Mubarak Shah. He was the ruler who called himself Khalifa, right? He declared himself Caliph. So this is important, and you should know this, that he was someone who called himself, because no other sultan has done this, because caliphate was someone who was religious head in Islamic rule, but this person declares himself as caliph. Okay, so this is important. And the last one is Khusro Khan, right? Now we'll start with the Jalaluddin Khilji. So Jalaluddin was a Turkish ruler who settled in Afghanistan, right? तो आपको पता है कि this dynasty is mainly Turkish. I've already told you the Muhammad Ghori was Turkish and he invaded India, and then the whole rule started. So these rulers were mainly Turkish in origin. Now we know, we let's see some of the important things about Jalaluddin Khilji, like how he came to power. So he had served under the Ilbari dynasty of Delhi Sultanate, and you know Ilbari dynasty is Balban dynasty, right? So he had served under Balban's rule, or we can say in other words, in the ending of Balban's rule and in the beginning of Kakubad's rule. You know, Kakubad was the last ruler of slave dynasty. So Kakubad had appointed him as his uh, warden of the northwest frontier. So he was the warden in the northwest frontier so that he could halt the Mongol invasions. So he was there only in northwest region. But when he sees that there is an opportunity to rule Delhi, so he kind of invaded Delhi. So let's see. He was appointed as Ariz-e-Mumalik by Kaykubat, and his real name was Malik Firoz. ठीक है? We can say Firoz Khilji is also there. He was known as Firoz Khilji, but when he became the ruler, he named himself as Jalaluddin Khilji. So, his military achievements, if we see, he was an old person, but Jalaluddin was very successful in halting the Mongol invasions, right? He was very successful. That is why he was appointed the warden of the Northwest. And if we talk about the diplomacy, so see, he married his daughter to Mongol leader Ulu Khan, right? So it was there in the dynasties in the leadership that they used to marry their daughters to some of the rulers or the enemy rulers, so that there is a peace between them. So it was a practice and it is followed everywhere. And when see family, like it is not necessarily family we can say, but yes, Alauddin Khilji was related to him. He was his nephew, and also he became his son-in-law in later period. So he was married to his daughter Mehrun Nisa, if you we remember correctly. Her name was Mehrun Nisa. ठीक है? Served as the governor, and he served as governor of Kara. Right? The Kara is Kara, or we can say the Allahabad region of today, or in other words we can say the Prayagraj. Today we know this region as Prayagraj, right? So he served as the governor of Kara. अब बात कर लेते हैं what were the conquests or what good did he do in his empire, in his rule. So he was a very generous leader. He believed in the prosperity of the empire, right? So he never tried to impose his policies on the public or in on the subject like harshly, just like Balban. He never did that. He tried to maintain goodwill among the people. So that is why he is known as the generous ruler. And he had benevolent attitude towards Hindus, right? Because he knew that this is the Hindu public. So if he need to rule in India and they are in minority, so if they had to rule in India, they need to have a good impression among the public or among the subject. So he tried to maintain that image, right? And he had successfully maintained a good empire under him and tried to expand the empire, and Alauddin helped him in this. So Alauddin invaded Devgiri kingdom, and you know Devgiri, you will remember in the coming lectures, you will see that Devgiri is the Daulatabad region, and it was also made the capital during the Muhammad bin Tughlaq, right? So Devgiri was an important area, and which became the first South Indian state to face Islamic invasion, right? तो फर्स्ट साउथ इंडियन देखिए यहाँ पे एक फैक्ट आपको दे दिया गया है. It was the first South Indian state to face Islamic invasion, right? So Devgiri was that, and Alauddin attacked Devgiri. So he was successful in attacking Devgiri, and he also procured a lot of wealth from there. And when he returned, he was successful in this attempt, and he had a lot of wealth in his hand. So due to this wealth and everything, he just murdered Jalaluddin and became the Sultan himself. Okay, so this happened, and Jalaluddin was murdered by Alauddin himself, and he ascended the throne. So this happened, and Jalaluddin died, and Alauddin becomes the ruler. So it was a small or brief sketch of Jalaluddin Khilji that you need to know, and he ruled for only 6 years, but it was a good rule, and he maintained a secure Delhi Sultanate rule in India during his small span. Okay, now we'll see what Alauddin Khilji has done, what was his policies and everything. So let's start with the Alauddin Khilji, right? The second ruler is Alauddin Khilji. So he ruled from 1296 to 1316. So approx we can say that he ruled for 20 years. Okay. Now, if we see imperialism, see, Alauddin was an imperialist person. He believed in this policy of extension of empire. So he was known for his aggressive military campaigns, that is completely true, and expansionist policies. That is why he reformed the whole military, and he made some changes in the military system so that he could maintain these military campaigns, right? So because his motive was to build a large empire, because he called himself as Sikandar A Sani. Sikandar A Sani. You know Sani, when we say Sani yani हमारा कोई Sani नहीं है type, right? So he called himself Sikandar A Sani. That means similar to Sikandar, or we can say in other words, like he called himself as Sikandar, yani second Sikandar we can say. And you know who was Sikandar, the first, who was the real Sikandar? Can anybody tell me in the comment section who was the Sikandar, or we can say, no, I'll not tell you the exact name, the Greek name of the person, but you have to reply me in the comment section so that I can understand that you all are understanding the whole lecture very carefully and listening everything in detail. So you will tell me who was Sikandar first, right? Here I have told you the Alauddin called himself as Sikandar Sani, or second Sikandar, that is visible in his coins. So I am asking you who was the first Sikandar. So you will tell me this in the comment section. So let's see what he did. If we talk about his campaigns, so these campaigns are very important. First, I've already told you that he had won the Devgiri, right? So Devgiri was his first successful campaign in India, and it was the first South Indian state, है ना, जिसपे आपका Islamic invasion हुआ है. Then we come to Gujarat, right? See, you will see that he chronologically attacked on these, because at one time he could control only one campaign. So he was not sending his army here and there. He was just focusing on one state at a time. So that is why he became successful. So you see that in second campaign he attacked at Gujarat, and in 1299 to 1300, like it took almost 1 year, and he captured Gujarat. Then he attacked on Ranthambore, and the fort of Ranthambore was known as in like it was known that इसको जीता नहीं जा सकता रणथंभौर के फोर्ट को. पहले कई बार कोशिश की गई बट जीता नहीं जा पाया था. जलालुद्दीन himself tried to win this fort but he failed. But when Alauddin tried to win this, he was successful. Okay, and although he lost one of his commander, but still he was successful. And then we come to Chittor, and you know the Chittor, the famous. This is the famous campaign of Alauddin, Chittor campaign, and it happened in 1303. And after that, his campaign at Malwa, and that happened in 1305, and it was also successful. So Alauddin kind of maintained a good army, and he was successful in his campaigns. So, conquest of Gujarat, Alauddin defeated Waghel Karnadev and married his wife Kamala Devi. So it was the practice, right? They used to defeat the ruler and used to capture their wives or daughters and made them live in their harems, or we can say in their uh, courts. So that was the in their forts, sorry. So that was the practice. And the Chittor campaign is, as I have told you, it was very important one because it is there in history in for different reasons. First, that it was one of the famous Alauddin's campaign, right? And second, it is famous from the Rajput dynasty's point of view, because it was against a powerful ruler, and that was Rawal Ratan Singh, right? Rawal Ratan Singh. And it was against, Chittor is the Mewar region, so Mewar has always been famous for its bravery and everything. So they used, matlab, in Rajputs, you can say Mewar was the most powerful kingdom. So it becomes important for us to know. And then comes the third person, that is Rani Padmini. See, Rani Padmini is famous in history for committing Johar when the fort was fallen. So she is also famous. So you should remember that she committed Johar. And all this episode, it is mentioned in a book that is Padmavat. The whole episode is mentioned. How do we know that all this happened? In other things, like in other conquest, we don't know everything in detail. But in this Chittor campaign, we know everything in detail because it is mentioned in this book by Malik Muhammad Zaisi, right? And this book is Padmavat. And you know the movie made by Sanjay Leela Bhansali, he recently made this, not recently, but in I think in 4 years back, he made this movie Padmavat, right? In this movie, he has cast Deepika Padukone as Rani Padmini, and you can see and Ranveer Singh as Alauddin Khilji, and Shahid Kapoor as Rawal Ratan Singh. So you'll see whole story and everything in that movie, and the name is Padmavat only. So you can see everything there. See, you need. I'm not telling you to go and watch every movie, but try to whenever there is a movie or there is a documentary or there is something out there on social media or any other platform, try to see it for once. I'm not telling you to go and see it every day, but try to see it once so that you can get a like other than books, you can learn from different platforms, and it will also provide you a sense of relief and entertainment also. So you can watch them sometime. So now let's come to the military leadership. His chief commander. Who was his chief commander? Why was he so successful? Because his chief commander was Malik Kafur. And who was Kafur? So let's see. Malik Kafur was his slave, right? When he went to the Gujarat campaign. Gujarat was initial one of his initial campaigns. So when he went for the Gujarat campaign, there he was gifted this slave that is Malik Kafur, and he was also known as Hajar Dinari because he was purchased in thousands of dinars, and that was a very high amount for that time period. But due to his abilities, he was called Hazar Dinari, and he was so expensive. So you can see that he won different campaigns for Alauddin, and he proved his worth like that. So his chief commander was Malik Kafur and led successful campaigns in South India. So we can say in South India the main campaigns were led by Malik Kafur only. So you can see he campaigned against Devagiri, and who was the ruler? Ramchandra Dev. Sometimes the rulers are also there in exams, so you should know the names also. And the second was Kakatiya ruler, and who was he? Pratap Rudra Dev, right? And the third one is Hoysal dynasty, and the ruler was Veerballal III. And the third is Pandya kingdom. In southern tip there was Pandya rulers ruling. So the rulers were Veera and Sundarapal Pandya. So he defeated. We cannot say that he defeated them completely. He did not completely defeat Pandyas, but yes, he was successful in defeating all the other threes, and he maintained a he काइंड ऑफ उनको एक तरीके से प्रेशर कर दिया कि अब वो क्या करेंगे, एक तरीके से सॉवरेनिटी एक्सेप्ट करेंगे अलाउद्दीन की. सो दे यूज टू पे देयर ट्रिब्यूट टू अलाउद्दीन. सो दैट ऑल हैपेंड हियर, एंड लेट्स सी अदर थिंग्स. सो इफ वी टॉक अबाउट मॉन्यूमेंट्स, सो अलाउद्दीन कंस्ट्रक्टेड सीरी सिटी, है ना? यू नो द सीरी फोर्ट, known as the second city of Delhi also. Delhi के बारे में ये कहा जाता है जो दिल्ली है उसको 7 times बसाया गया है. सो यू कैन नॉट से लाइक एक बार बसा दिया एंड उसको ख़त्म कर दिया किसी ने, फिर दोबारा बसी फिर ख़त्म. इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. दिल्ली जो है वो एक बहुत ही क्रूशियल पोजीशन पे इसका जो आप कहेंगे लोकेशन है, क्योंकि नॉर्थ वेस्ट से भी जितने आपके अटैक्स हुए हैं उन सब का सेंटर दिल्ली रहा है. And Delhi was also, and today you can see also Delhi is the capital. So it Delhi has been the in the as a Delhi has been a prime location since beginning of the history. So you can see that in Delhi there was several rulers which ruled, and when they ruled they tried to build a capital for them. So Alauddin built a capital that was Siri, and he also built a darwaza, we can say a gateway type, that is Alai Darwaza in Delhi, right? Now we'll see coins. Alauddin adopted the title Sikandar Isani. I have told you Sikandar Isani meaning the, oh, here it is mentioned, if you can see, Alexander the Second. So the answer is already here, but I need you to answer me correctly on in the comment section. Like, why was it called Alexander and what did Alexander do actually? So I need to see that in the comment section. On his coins symbolizing his imperial ambitions, right? Military and administrative reforms की बात करें, so military reforms, what he did for the military, he maintained a large and standing army and highly centralized. So he did not believe in disintegration of army. He tried to maintain a centralized army so that he could directly control the whole army. And why was he doing that? To maintain a direct control, it will help him in advancing the army in different direction at a particular time period. So that was his motto. Introduce dark system for horse branding, right? These words are very important, so you should remember them as it is. He introduced two systems in his army. First one is Dag system, and Dag, you can know the Dag. The word Dag is a, we can say in Hindi we also call it Dag. Dag is what? Impression जैसा कुछ पड़ जाता है ना, we call it Dag. So he introduced Dag system, और जिससे वो क्या कर रहा है, हॉर्सेस को ब्रांड कर रहा है, यानी कि आप कहीं करप्शन नहीं कर सकते, आप हॉर्सेस को अदला बदली नहीं कर सकते. सो इफ दे आर ब्रांडेड for the central army or for the army of the empire. And then he maintained Hulia. So Hulia is what? Hulia, today we also call ये क्या Hulia बना रखा, right? So Hulia is what? It is a, like, how do you look? So that is Hulia. And he maintained a register of soldiers so that nobody can leave in between the service or just can send the other person. Like if somebody is not interested in going for a war, he would send some other person who is not as capable. So that is why he maintained dark system and Hulia system, right? So you can see how crucial it was. So like that he maintained a good army, and all these things were very helpful for him. And he also believed in paying the army in cash. So he tried to pay the army in cash. Its salaries were paid in cash. It is a very important point. You should remember it. The army was paid in cash salary, right? ऐसा नहीं है कि उनको कह दिया जाएगा कि आप जाइए जीत आइए तो आप ये खजाने में से लूट लेना है, इस तरीके का कुछ नहीं था. उनको प्रॉपरली पेमेंट रहता था कैश में, ठीक है. तो ये एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है, और ये अलाउद्दीन वाज द फर्स्ट पर्सन टू डू ऑल दिस. मतलब इस चीज को इतना ऑर्गेनाइज फॉर्म में उसने पहली बार आपको दिखेगा, मिलिट्री रिफॉर्म्स इस तरीके के. सो दीज आर इम्पोर्टेंट एंड यू शुड रिमेम्बर ऑल दिस. नाउ लेट्स कम टू we'll come to the market reforms. These are very very important. I'll mark it with 2 stars, right? Because it is very very important. So when we talk about market reforms of Alauddin, he was the first sultan to pay soldiers in cash, as I've already told you. To pay soldiers in cash, he need to have cash in his treasury as well. And for maintain, and his army was a very large army, large standing army. So he need to pay everybody in cash. For that he need a large sum of cash himself. And for that he made these market reforms. तो इसके लिए उसने क्या किया? He maintained 3 kind of markets. So you'll remember these markets. The first market he made was for grains, right? Because grains are very important. Agriculture is directly linked to it, right? So first market was meant for the grains only. The second market was meant for clothes and expensive items, right? I'll write it here as items. Expensive items, you can say that what were the expensive items for that period? All those were considered in this category. Like, you can see some furniture was there, or you can see like wines and everything. So all these were there. And then we'll come to the third section, that is cattle and slaves. Cattle and slaves. And slaves are very crucial because Malik Kafur himself was a slave, and he was the chief commander of his army. So slaves were very important for these rulers. So these three were the important division of his market, and this market was run, or we can say was maintained by a chief officer called Shehnai Mandi, right? Every market had a chief officer, and that was known as Shehnai Mandi. आज भी हम मार्केट्स को मंडी बोल देते हैं, सब्जी मंडी, फूल मंडी, है ना? सो फल मंडी. तो these markets were led by a chief officer who was Sehnai Mandi. So you will remember this. And established a strong system to control prices of essential commodities, right? मतलब उसने खुद ही प्राइस को कंट्रोल कर दिया था, फिक्स कर दिया था कि कौन सी चीज किससे ज्यादा महंगी नहीं मिलेगी. जबकि पहले क्या होता था, रूलर्स इतना ध्यान नहीं देते थे इन चीजों पे कि मार्केट में क्या चल रहा है, कौन आ रहा है, कौन जा रहा है, कि कौन सी चीज किस प्राइस पे मिल रही है. बट ही मेड श्योर दैट एवरीथिंग इज maintained in a very organized manner, and there is a officer to maintain all this, and there is a intelligence network also to curb the black marketing, right? ब्लैक मार्केटिंग ना हो, होर्डिंग ना हो, सो दैट मान लीजिए आज अच्छा प्रोड्यूस किया किसी ने और उसने होर्ड करके रख लिया अपना, तो जब कभी ज़रूरत होगी, सडनली मान लीजिए फेमीन की कंडीशन हो गई, तो वो क्या करेगा, हायर प्राइसेस में ही उतने ही आइटम को हायर प्राइसेस पे सेल करेगा. तो इस सब को कंट्रोल भी किसने किया, अलाउद्दीन ने कंट्रोल किया, ठीक है? तो होल्डिंग और ब्लैक मार्केटिंग को भी उसने एलिमिनेट कर दिया है, सो दैट ही कैन मेंटेन अ नॉर्मल प्राइस, एंड ही वाज पेइंग सोल्जर्स इन कैश. So all these were very planned things from his point of view. The market supervisor Shehnai Mandi was in charge of monitoring prices also. And other than that, he established a market control department that was दीवान रियासत. ठीक है? तो ये सब चीज़ें उसने एक्चुअली की हैं, और इनसे ही कहीं ना कहीं उसको मदद मिली है अपनी आर्मी को स्ट्रॉन्ग करने में. एंड he also received daily reports of markets from Barits. Who were Barits? Barits were intelligence officers. बरीड्स को अपॉइंट किया है. ये क्या होते थे, आपके इंटेलिजेंस ऑफिसर्स थे. आज भी आप देख लीजिए, आईबी होती है जो हमारी, आईबी यानी इंटेलिजेंस ब्यूरो. सो उनका काम क्या है, गवर्नमेंट को इन्फॉर्म करना, देश में क्या चीज़ें चल रही हैं, क्या डिस्प्यूट्स राइज हो रहे हैं, कोई अटैक वटैक तो नहीं हो रहा, कोई प्लानिंग क्या चल रही है, कुछ गलत एलिमेंट्स तो नहीं दिख रहे हैं, सोशल कुछ एंटी सोशल एलिमेंट्स तो नहीं राइज कर रहे हैं. तो ये सारी चीज़ें इंटेलिजेंस का काम है, उसको ट्रैक करना. सो बरीज वर द इंटेलिजेंस ऑफिसर इन द Alauddin's empires, right? Paid array. This is again mentioned here. Salaries in cash, we all know that. Now, Ariz Mumalik was responsible for soldiers recruitment, right? Ariz Mumalik was who? Head of the Diwane Ariz. Diwane Ariz. And what was Diwane Ariz? It was Department of Army, or we can say military. So its head was Ariz Mumalik, and he was responsible. Obviously, he was responsible for recruitment and salary payment, everything related to army. So this, acha, you will tell me who established this department? Who established this department of Diwane Ariz? You will tell me in the comment section. Anybody who is hearing this lecture throughout will tell me in the comment section, right? Now, revenue reforms. If we talk about revenue reforms, he created a separate department, Diwan-e-Mustakharaj, for revenue administration. ठीक है? तो revenue जो है उसको मुस्तखराज बोलते थे. So he established a separate department for Diwan-e-Mustakharaj, so that he could maintain a great revenue for the administration, and the revenue is not like there is no corruption or anything. So he maintained a separate department for that, and that is Diwan-e-Mustakharaj. Introduced a scientific method for land measurement to assess land revenue, right? ही मतलब उसने एक सेपरेट डिपार्टमेंट बनाया है किसके लिए, ही इंट्रोड्यूस्ड अ साइंटिफिक मेथड ऑल्सो, जिससे क्या हो सके, लैंड मेजरमेंट हो सके, यानी एग्रीकल्चर जो है उसको भी उसने कहीं ना कहीं ऑर्गेनाइज किया है. ठीक है? सो उसने एग्रीकल्चर पे भी ध्यान दिया है. अगर हम मार्केट रिफॉर्म्स की बात करते हैं तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि उसने एग्रीकल्चर को कम्प्लीटली इग्नोर कर दिया है और मार्केट पे ही ध्यान दिया है, ऐसा नहीं है. ही फोकस्ड ऑन एग्रीकल्चर ऑल्सो, और उसके लिए उसने क्या किया है कि लैंड मेजरमेंट का क्या मेथड होना चाहिए, कितना रेवेन्यू जनरेट किया जाएगा, कितना हम फार्मर्स से हम लेंगे रेवेन्यू, तो ये सारी पॉलिसी उसने, और उसको भी पूरा साइंटिफिक मेथड यूज किया है. इम्पोज जजिया टैक्स ऑन नॉन मुस्लिम एंड हैवी टैक्सेस ऑन सरदार, जागीरदार एंड उलेमास, राइट. जजिया उसने इम्पोज किया नॉन मुस्लिम्स पे. एंड यू नो, जजिया वाज फर्स्ट इम्पोज्ड इन इंडिया, or we can say on any Hindu kingdom, for the first time by whom? Muhammad bin Qasim, right? And it happened in Sindh, because Sindh was ruled by Muhammad bin Qasim. So जजिया इम्पोज किया उसने नॉन मुस्लिम्स पे, और जो टैक्सेस वगैरह थे वो उसने सरदार, जागीरदार सब पे लगाए हैं, और इवन उलेमास पे. नाउ यू विल डाउट व्हाई उलेमास, because Alauddin's policy was different from the other rulers. He was very secular in his approach. He only wanted the extension of his empire, and he wanted to strengthen his army and his rule. So he he had also prohibited the use of liquor and intoxicants in his empire. And ये एक बहुत important चीज़ है कि he was the first sultan who prohibited what? Liquor and intoxicants. So it is very important. You will remember this. So all these things were introduced by him only, and it is a very important thing that you know all these points regarding Alauddin Khilji. Other than that, we can see there is one more important information that I can recall. आपने सुना होगा अमीर खुसरो का नाम, राइट? अमीर खुसरो, बलबन के टाइम में अमीर खुसरो का राइज होता है. ही केम इनटू द कोर्ट, and he was there in Alauddin's rule also. So Alauddin called him as Tuti-e-Hind. Alauddin was the one who gave him the title of Tuti-e-Hind, right? So it is important for you to know. And जो अमीर खुसरो थे, इन्होंने एक बुक लिखी है, that is खजाइन उल फुतूह. खजाइन उल फुतूह, जिसमें आपको ये जो अलाउद्दीन के जो कैंपेन्स हैं इनकी नॉलेज मिलती है. ठीक है. फुतू को आप ऐसे याद कर लीजिए, फुतू मतलब फतेह, फतेह से याद कर लीजिए. और फतेह क्या होती है आपकी? तभी होती है जब आप जीतते हैं किसी चीज में. तो अलाउद्दीन अपने सारे कैंपेन्स में जीता ही था लगभग. तो उसके जो भी कैंपेन्स हैं वो किस में मिल रहे हैं आपको? वो आपको मिल रहे हैं इस बुक में, खजाइनुल फुतू में, राइट. सो दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड अदर देन दैट, देयर इज वन मोर थिंग विच इज वेरी क्रूशियल फॉर यू टू नो, दैट he proclaimed kingship knows no kinship. One more thing is there, kingship knows no kinship. If any of you knows the difference between these two words, then you know the whole meaning of the line. Kingship, he I told you that he imposed taxes on ulemas also, and he was the first ruler जिसने सेपरेट किया है रिलीजन को पॉलिटिक्स से. ठीक है. इससे पहले क्या हो रहा था, आपको मैंने बताया था ना कि इस्लामिक जो इन्वेजन्स हुए उनका एक पर्पज ये भी था कि टेरिटोरियल एक्सपेंशन हो और रिलीजियस एक्सपेंशन हो. बट अलाउद्दीन वाज द वन हु डिड नॉट बिलीव्ड इन रिलीजियस एक्सपेंशन. ही सेपरेटेड रिलीजन एंड पॉलिटिक्स. ठीक है. दैट इज व्हाई आई कॉल्ड हिम सेक्युलर. नॉट that he was very secular or generous, it's not that, but he separated religion and politics. So he completely controlled the politics and did not let any other person to influence his ideas or his decisions. See, because ulemas were there, he used to tell kings to do this or do that, or they used to influence rulers, but he did not let that happen. And that is why he said that kingship knows no kinship. That means कि जो राजा है, जो राजा का रूल है, that knows no kinship, यानी कि आप फैमिली को देख के नहीं चल रहे हैं. आप kinship यानी आपके जो लोग हैं, अपने लोग हैं, या आपका जो फैमिली है, किन मीन्स फैमिली होती है यूजुअली. सो ही सेड दैट किनशिप नोज नो किनशिप, यानी कि अगर आप फैमिली लोग और अपने आसपास के लोगों को देख के इतना चलेंगे तो आप तो रूल कर ही नहीं पाएंगे. सो दैट इज व्हाई ही सेड दिस, ही प्रोक्लेम्ड दिस स्टेटमेंट, and it is very important for you to know. So this is all about Alauddin Khilji, and now you see this is the Khilji Sultanate, how it expanded, what were the areas under its rule. Here you can see the Attock, the Uch, the Sehwan, Junagadh, Nagaur, Delhi, the whole Rajputana is under his control. Dhar, that means the MP region. Daulatabad, this is Devgiri. This is the Devgiri. And then the Warangal, yes. See, all this region is dark colored. That means it is directly under his control. But the further south region, this region, I've told you that he came this, Malik Kafur had gone this far, but these regions were not directly under their control. That means the rulers were there to rule, but they kind of accepted the sovereignty of Alauddin Khilji. So you see Dwar Samudra, Hoysal, वारंगल का कातियास का कैपिटल था, है ना. और साउथ में यहाँ पांड्यास का भी मान लीजिए कुछ एरिया आप देख रहे हैं. सो ऑल दीज रीजन्स वर इन्वेडेड बाय मलिक काफूर, एंड ही काइंड ऑफ made sure that these people used to pay tribute to Alauddin Khilji. So you see these are less darkened, but these areas were directly under the Khilji dynasty. Okay, so this is all about Alauddin Khilji. Other than that, I need you to know that after Alauddin Khilji, it's not that the empire suddenly declined or the Tughlaq started ruling. There were some other rulers also. Qutbuddin Mubarak Shah ruled. I have told you that he ruled for a fair time, that is 4 years. Okay? He ruled for 4 years and he declared himself caliph, and he took title of Al-Wasi Billah. Okay? And cancelled harsh regulations of his father, यानी अपने ही फादर यानी अलाउद्दीन के जो प्रिंसिपल्स थे, जो पॉलिसीज थी, उसको उसने क्या किया, कैंसिल कर दिया एक तरीके से, यानी रिवर्स कर दिया. ही वॉज अ वेरी एबल, मतलब ही वॉज नॉट exactly like Alauddin in dealing with all military things and everything, but yes, he was somewhat able to crush many revolts during his reign, but he did not run the administration smoothly as Alauddin, so his rule came to an end. And then Nasiruddin Khusro Shah, he ruled for 1 year, and that is 1320. And during this time, because he was an incapable ruler, so Ghiyasuddin Tughlaq जो है वो 1320 में उसको डिफीट कर देता है और खुद सुल्तान बन जाता है. सो दैट इज द प्रिंसिपल, द होल Delhi Sultanate is running in this serial only, that the ruler, if it is incapable or they are not as efficient as Alauddin, or we can say Balban, so they will be defeated and the other person will come to rule. So that happened here also. And then we'll talk about the Khalji dynasty. That is all about the Khalji dynasty, and we'll start with Tughlaq dynasty in the next chapter. So if you have any doubts, any queries, please contact us on these numbers, either on this number, or you can join the channel as well, or you can message here as well. And you can, the best thing is that you can comment, right? Give me answer in comment section, and you can also mention your doubts there. And please go through all the chapters in brief and see, this is for your convenience, so try to view chapters for 1 2 3 times as much as possible, because in one go you will only see the simple things, but if you go through the series for second or for the third time, then you will remember the minute details, the dynasties, their rulers names, right? The campaigns of Alauddin, like Devgiri, Gujarat, Ranthambore, Chittor, Malwa, you will remember them only when you go through them 2 or 3 times. So we'll meet you in the next chapter. Thank you for watching the lecture. Have a nice day.